Hello everyone, it is Katie here with the Lunar Moon. I am here to do our monthly reading, this time for the month of March in 2020. And we're going to do another pick a card reading. I think I like those the best so that we can get some variety between anybody who might be watching and looking for a message. Today we will be using two decks, as usual, as an indicator for which card you will be picking. We will be utilizing the Carry Me Crystals Chakra Clearing and Oracle card deck. Each crystal will be the determining factor for which deck that you choose for your reading today. And the reading itself will be done with the Ostara Tarot, which I thought was going to be incredibly fitting today because we have Ostara in about 2 weeks, when we will be celebrating the spring equinox, and so I was very excited to be able to use this deck for this reading. It is one of my favorite decks. I love the artwork and the symbolism in it, and it is, as well as the Carry Me Crystals deck, available online at our store. For our 4 groups today, we have 4 stones that you can pick from. I'm not going to say too much about the stones now. We'll get into it during your reading. But go ahead and take a moment with yourself and pick the group that calls out to you the most. We have group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. And you can go by site, you can go by number, you can go by location. You can close your eyes and see if any of the images or numbers call out to you. But take a small moment and try not to overthink it. Just go with your gut feeling, but pick your group. And then you can use the timestamp below to find your reading. So today's reading is going to be completely intuitive. And by that I mean I'm going to loosely interpret card meanings, card locations. I don't have a particular spread or amount of cards that I intend to read today. I'm sort of just going to let the decks speak to me, if you will. So this is a reading for group 1. Group 1 being the Amethyst stone. So we'll look at that in just a moment. But let me cut the deck here and pull a couple cards to get started. My, what a reading. I'm gonna stop there and we'll see if we want to pull any indicator cards after. But so far we have the Chariot reversed. We also have the Death card. And the 1 or Ace of Cups, it seems. Now you also picked Amethyst, and you might have just chosen it because you like the stone or the color, or it was just the one that called out to you. If you want, you can take a look at the Amethyst message. You are welcoming energy and light is shining through your crown chakra. Please use when sad and needing re-energizing. So you could be someone who is getting out of that stage, a sad or tiring stage in your life. It could be that this is a kind of energy replenish that you need. It might be smart of you to keep Amethyst around and available for you in this next month. But your welcoming energy and light is shining through your crown chakra. So being open to energy and open to messages and having a balanced and open crown chakra is kind of a good place to be in. Overall, there's some positivity here that might not be immediately apparent. We have the Chariot card reversed, and it itself has some very dark imagery. We have the Death card, which generally gets a bad reputation. And we have the One of Cups, which is a very bright and almost celebratory image that we have here. So let's kind of think on it and maybe come up with a message that you can use and carry with you. So with the Chariot, I always see the Chariot as movement instinctively, but it also is a card of control and willpower, specifically in this deck. And the thing is, with its reversal, generally it means the benefits of the cards can't be actualized, or perhaps there's something in your way, or there's an obstacle for you before you can get the benefits of what that upright card might be, to a degree. And some people read reversals differently. Me, instinctively, when I first see this card, I see a halt in movement. Maybe something is getting in the way of you accomplishing or achieving something that you have a desire for. And maybe that thing is yourself or your way of thinking. There's also a sense that you're either trying to take on too much all at once, or you're not properly letting go of things that aren't going to get you to where you want to be. Maybe you're holding on to stuff from the past that's preventing you from making the improvement or the adjustments that you want to make to accomplish your goals. With the Death card, the Death card is, and especially with this imagery, it's sort of creepy, right? We have these disembodied hands, we have this skeleton, but notice that some of the hands are ghosts and some of them are alive. The skeleton is a representation of literal death, but there is growth and new life stemming from it. And I think that this card represents the transformation that you have been reaching and working towards. The movement that you're making is all in the purpose of this transformation or this goal, this new beginning or this new life. And it's absolutely possible and within grasp for you within this next month here of March. And there's a very obvious celebratory joy that you're going to get. So I think, simply put, you are in a time of sadness, much like the Amethyst card has told us, and you are needing to re-energize and kind of welcome light and joy into your life. And perhaps there has to be the death of a thought process or an idea or a routine or a cycle in your life that has been holding you back from reaching an accomplishment or goal, and a new beginning, sort of a rebirth even of who you are and who you want to be and what ways you share yourself with people. And this could be pertaining to anything. Again, this is a general reading. This could be pertaining to anything in your life, be it work or studies. It could be a skill. It could be a passion or something that you feel personally or emotionally drawn to. And especially with the presence of cups in your reading, I feel a lot of this is emotion. It's a sadness and a sense of self, that you want to reach a certain point in your life where you don't have this sadness or this depression or this way of thinking holding you back. And so you're changing your thought processes and your routines so that you can reach this lighthearted joy. And it's the bringing of a new joy. This is the Ace card, so it in itself is a new beginning, much like death is. So even in this book, the Ace of Cups is companionship, love, joy, and positive energy. And it says, 2 joyful mice share a cup. The Ace of Cups is a joyful card, which often stands for a positive emotional state. So again, this is sort of letting go of the inner parts of yourself that are dragging you down and holding you back. You're sort of killing them off with this Death card so that you can reach this lighthearted new joy of love and friendship and embracing, the best parts of yourself and the truest parts of yourself, so that you can share them with people and strengthen those relationships with yourself and your friends and your family and your loved ones. And I feel like you guys have probably been going through a lot of emotional turmoil recently, and it's just now starting to feel like the weight is lifting off your shoulders. And you're just putting in that last bit of work to get it to where it's not something you're going to have to worry about for a while, and you're going to start this new stage here. And what a perfect time to do it in the springtime, as we breach onto the end of winter and the beginning of spring and celebrate this equinox. I think it's a wonderful time to embrace the physical and natural new beginnings happening in the world around you and follow suit personally within your emotions to find this sort of lighthearted joy and happiness. So that is, I think, a definitive enough message. I don't really feel like I need any indicator cards. We might maybe pull an advice card here. That's sort of, maybe if somebody needs a more specific message. And I'm getting the Four of Swords, which looks sort of sad. It's not a very uplifting card or imagery, but it's a card of solitude and rest and contemplation and recovery. And I love that word recovery because that's something that I think you guys have been in for a period of time now. And it's maybe the ability to forgive yourself for needing that, or to gift yourself that time that's going to help you kind of leave this in the past and move on to this happiness or this joy. So that's your reading. I know it's kind of short and it's nothing really particular, but that is sort of what I see happening in this month for, you, my group 1, my Amethyst group. And it's a good reading. I'm feeling really positive about it. I feel like a lot of you really need this. It's a long time coming, and I'm so glad because you deserve it. You absolutely deserve this weight lifted off your shoulders. You absolutely deserve to get to a point to where you can enjoy this happiness and this love without abandon. So I say to you, good luck, and find your happiness and hold on to it. And I really hope that it's a long-term sort of stage in your life for you. We have a lot of new beginning sort of symbols here, and so beginning generally means a longer journey, and so I hope that it is a longer journey of joy and happiness for you. So thank you for letting me read for you. I hope that it gave you something, a message that resonated with you or something you needed to hear. You can always try and do these readings for yourself at home. A lot of these tools we have available on our website, and there's other resources as well. And we really appreciate you. So thank you again so much, and we will see you again for next month's reading. Okay, this reading is going to be for our group 2, which is actually orange calcite. And I'm just going to finish this shuffle here. So as I was saying before, this is going to be more of an intuitive reading. I don't have a particular spread that I'm using or amount of cards, and I'm sort of going to let the cards themselves and their imagery speak to me and follow a little bit more of my intuition for this reading. So let me go ahead and cut the deck here. Let's pull some cards and see what we get. Okay, so we have the Knight here of Swords, and it is reversed. And we have, oh my, the Knight, I imagine, of Wands or Rods, perhaps? Oh no, there's a cup on the sail. It is the Knight of Cups, also reversed. Let's see if we can make it a set. Oh, the Ace of Wands here, reversed as well. I'm thinking I might want some indicator cards in a minute, but let's kind of look at this and see where we're at and see how we're feeling. So first let's look at your stone here. So we have the orange calcite stone. It says, I enjoy orange light. Please remember my wish. Use this in communication with others. Voice your thoughts clearly. Take time to articulate well and have channels open between you and the ones you are speaking with. So this is your stone, and you can take that message how you will. Let's kind of think on this. We have a lot of reversals. I'm not sure particularly how I feel about them. Instinctively, when I see the Knight of Swords, I see a person of aggression who is combative, not necessarily to a fault, but perhaps you have had to be fighting for a while for something. And I'm seeing that you're starting to calm down a little bit. And with swords being a suit of intelligence, this could be a lapse in training or school. It could also potentially be a representation of a skill that you've been working on, and maybe you've reached a breakthrough where you're not having to work so hard to achieve what you're trying to with that particular skill or topic. Sort of my initial thought, but let me kind of take a peek here and see the specific symbols for this deck. So the Knight of Swords. So it is a card of incisiveness, directness, logic, and authority. And it says, when the Knight of Swords is reversed, his energy becomes impatient and dangerously impulsive. He runs into conflict without weighing the consequences, and with all the discipline of an unbroken stallion. When you see these qualities in yourself or in someone you have met, be aware of peril of a reckless cause. That gives me a lot to think about. Then we have the Knight of Cups. I'm just gonna look at that one right away while we're thinking. The Knight of Cups is a sailor on a boat. Looks like she has a whaling harpoon. There is a symbol, it looks of a badger or a bear. Constellation in the sky. Ursa Major, okay. And then there is a fin of sorts underneath the boat that sort of looks like, I'm not sure. Let's unpack this. Motivation, inspiration, subconscious, and practical application. Working in harmony together. So it is emotion. And when it's reversed, the book says, it is an emotional period for you. You may have recently allowed yourself to delve too deeply into a relationship or a project and are now coming back to reality. Be patient and this potentially overwhelming phase will pass. And then, of course, we have the Ace of Wands, reversed as well, which I instinctively think of tired. I'm tired when I think of it. You're sort of stuck in the fire instead of embracing it. Inspiration, power, creation, and potential. And reversed, it says, your energy is likely blocked and something that should be moving forward with ease is sluggish and slow. This may be due to an inability to clearly define what it is that you want. The Ace of Wands reversed suggests that you need to step back and take some time to really figure out what your goals and aspirations are. Your reading's a little tough. I'll say it right now. So we have communication issues. I'm feeling communication issues, a whole lot of work, perhaps without reward. And what did it say? A reckless behavior for an unjust cause or something along those lines. It's very beware of peril of a reckless cause. So you're running into conflict without weighing the consequences. You have communication issues. You're having an emotional period. And you're just now kind of seeing how far into it you really are. And then on top of it all, you're feeling like everything's moving slowly. And perhaps you're putting all of this work and effort in for something that you don't really believe in, that reckless cause. Man, you guys are having a tough time. My chest feels heavy just kind of thinking about it. I'm thinking the message in itself is mostly just opening your eyes to the situation, which it seems like you're just now starting to do. And perhaps you haven't been communicating with yourself or your maybe authority figures or teachers or anybody in your life that might be a mentor to you who's trying to help you. And perhaps you're working towards the wrong thing because you haven't been able to speak up for yourself. And maybe you haven't been able to speak up for yourself because you truly don't know what it is you're working towards. And maybe you're working towards something, I'm getting, because it's better to work towards something than nothing at all. And you're starting to realize now that maybe you've been wasting your time, that you've been active for the sake of being active, and the solutions you're coming to don't even appeal to you. It's not something that you ever envisioned for yourself or wanted. So this card seems way more important to me than in some of the other readings. That communication, I think, is so necessary right now. It seems like you really need to communicate if someone's wasting their time with you. Maybe someone has a vision for you that you haven't had the heart to tell them you don't agree with. I'm not sure. I'm going to pull another card. We have the 8 of Wands here, and it's upright. So let's take a little look here. Speed, action, movement, and swift change. It signifies freedom and space. You're unburdened by previous challenges, and you're full of energy for your activities. This card is all about speed. You may expect to be very busy and efficient. This will be a pleasant feeling as you're enthusiastic and making progress towards your goals. Yeah, that pretty much, it ties it up for me. I hope that this has, I know it's a little more complicated of a reading, and I apologize, but I kind of wanted to do it live here on camera and kind of work through it with you, because this might mean a lot of different things to anybody who's watching. And what I'm really getting is your head's above water now. You realize that you've just been working for the sake of working, and you realize now you're going to wake up in 15 years, and if you stay on this path, it's not going to serve you, and it's not going to serve anyone that you think you're helping or working with at the moment. And so I think the goal for this month for you would be to open up your communication, be completely honest with yourself and the people around you. Perhaps if you can, keep some orange calcite around to aid you in that. And work, put the work in. How exciting and uplifting it would be to be passionate about all of this effort. You've been putting in all of this effort, and it's just been almost dangerous or detrimental to you. And that sounds a little dramatic when it could just be you're working this job instead of this other job. But at the end of the day, like, if it's not fulfilling you, there's a portion of you that's empty, and that is detrimental. It is dangerous. So I think it really is taking this clarity that you've gotten now and turning this energy and this purpose and power into something that really matters to you. And it's going to take communication to get you to that point, because there's going to be some people who've been working alongside you now for this cause, and it's not a cause you're truly passionate about, or you haven't been quite honest about how you're feeling. And so you're going to have to let them down, but that's going to help them get to a place where they need to be so they can get things done for their own personal path. And then it's going to give you the freedom and excitement to work on what really matters to you. And I think that's the message that you needed to hear this month. I hope that's the message you needed to hear. It's what I'm getting, but again, I'm trying to be as general as I can, because it's so many different people who will be hearing this message. So I really hope that this said something to you that you needed to hear. If it doesn't make a lot of sense, maybe try looking at a different pile. Choose a different group of cards, or you might look at getting some personal guidance one-on-one with another reader, or doing a reading for yourself, just to kind of see in what way this message pertains to you, because there's a chance that maybe you still need a little help with that clarity too. So again, I really appreciate you letting me read for you today. I hope it said something to you. And thank you so much, and we will see you next month for your next monthly reading. Okay, group 3. This is going to be your reading for the month of March in 2020. And let me finish this shuffle here. I am going to be doing a more intuitive reading. I don't have a specific spread I'm working with or an amount of cards that I intend to use. I am just going to kind of let it speak for itself and we'll see where it takes us. But first, we have your stone here, which is actually Labradorite. And it says, when you venture forth, use this stone to open your opportunity. Do not fear, Labradorite and I work with you. So this is a very positive stone of success, it feels. And it seems very beneficial to every chakra, which is a nice thing. So if you have some of this, maybe you might want to keep it around for the next month. But let's pull some cards and see where we're at. The Ace of Cups. It's not the first time we've seen that today. And then we have, the Emperor. Sorry. We have the Emperor. And we have, the Nine of Swords. And it's reversed. I'm going to stop there, and then if we need another card, we will pull one. Okay, goodness. Okay, so we have happiness. We have happiness and joy and friendship and love and celebration. And then we have an almost paternal figure here. Someone with a lot of knowledge and guidance, perhaps. It's someone that we respect, maybe. I'm going to kind of sit on that one for a minute. And then we have the Nine of Swords reversed, which I'm not so familiar with. When I look at it, it's sort of like a panther or a cat here of some sort. And they're on this tree branch, forgive me, on this tree branch here. And there's all of these swords pointing at them. So the upright version of this card is, it seems like somebody is almost stuck in a trap. You see what I mean? And this card is reversed. And so it seems like maybe this is something that we have just gotten out of. Or it's not a worry of ours anymore, is what I'm thinking. We have the presence of this person, and I really do sort of feel like this is a person in your life. And then we have this general sensation of joy and happiness, which I think we all could use a little more of. So, cheers to you. Please enjoy it. But let's kind of look. I just want to see specifically for this deck. The Emperor is masculinity, stability, fearlessness, and passion. So his presence in a reading heralds a period of stability and security in your life. Trust in your ability to lead the way. And then with the Nine of Swords, let's just take a quick look. See if there's something I'm missing. Anxiety, guilt, depression, and inner torment. And as a reversed card, it says when the Nine of Swords is drawn reversed, it can cut at least two ways. On one hand, it may describe a person who has reached the end of their rope and fallen deep into self-pity and despair. On the other hand, it can also signify a glimmer of hope at the end of a very dark period. Recovery takes a lot of care, effort, willpower, and time. So I am going to pull an advice card. But first, I'm actually happy with my initial reaction to the reading. I would say that you have been putting a lot of work into this dark period of your life, and this month you're going to be gifted with the love and friendship and the presence of this person. I feel the presence of this person, but also just the support and the stability that comes with it. So if you feel like you are in the category of the person who is just unable to enjoy these benefits, if you're so far in the darkness right now that you can't even see the happiness or the stability or the wealth of emotion and love around you, I want to pull a guidance card for you. So this might not apply to everybody, And I have just pulled the Sun. It is the Sun reversed, actually. Ooh, pulled the Sun reversed. And I don't know that I necessarily agree with the reversal of this card, but let's just take a look. I think for me, the Sun card is another very positive card of success, warmth. Anything that can go right will go right. But it's sort of up to you to take that action. The Sun card for me is just, it's the embodiment of success. And so my instinct, before I could kind of take a look at the messages here, I'm feeling that maybe you are looking for signs of success as an indicator of your growth and your recovery. And that's not how that works. There's not going to be any particular thing that happens or changes that says you're better now. And so that's why I feel the card is reversed. I feel that you are looking for signs of success where they're unimportant at the moment. These things are around you regardless of how successful you are. And so your recovery and your ability to kind of let go of this negativity or this hold that this dark stage in your life has over you, it's not going to be dependent on any kind of sign or symbol of accomplishment. Victory, growth, luck, and success are the symbols for this card in this deck. And the reversal says you may have had setbacks working towards a goal, or you may be feeling isolated or depressed. Remember that when a garden isn't thriving, it is because some vital key to its growth is missing. Make an extra effort to look for those things which bring you joy. And this is the card of joy. So you have this joy and happiness around you. And without it, you won't ever get out of this darkness that you're in. And so if you allow yourself to water your garden, you know what I mean, or give sun to the plants in your heart, or I mean, as cheesy and metaphorical as that sounds, you know, that's sort of if a garden isn't growing, it's missing something. And the thing that you're missing when you're in a dark despair is you're missing that joy and happiness and that stability and that kind of wealth of relationship, of love, of joy. And so try every day to find these things in your life. And instead of feeling separated from them or isolated from them, I want you to try and inject yourself in them. I want you to try and make sure that you put the effort into enjoying them. Even if it feels like a chore right now, just do it anyway. Because at this point, it's your medicine. It's going to be the thing that heals you. So that is your advice card, which I think is very fitting. At the end of the day, though, no matter which category you fall in, I feel like this is a very positive reading. Unfortunately, I don't want to invalidate any of the things that you might have or might be going through, but it seems like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's now. So good. Good luck to you. Enjoy this. Embrace it. Don't fight it. Let it be. Let it move you forward into this new stage that can help you leave this darkness or this depression or anxiety behind, because it's a hard place to be in. And I'm so glad and so happy for you guys that you're sort of escaping it now. So good luck to you. Those of you who need to kind of try a little harder and reach out to these people who have your love and stability in mind, because they're going to help you find these little joys and these little happinesses every day. So those things are so important. They're so important to a wealthy emotional state or a fulfilled soul or spirit. And you guys are all willing, hopefully, to experience that and absolutely deserving of it. So that is your reading for this month. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Sorry that you guys have been kind of going through some stuff, but I hope that it is getting better and getting better quickly. And I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that we will see you again next month for your new monthly reading. So thanks again, and we'll see you next month. Okay, group 4, or my Bloodstone group. This is actually a Bloodstone on the card here. I am ready to do your reading. Let me just cut this deck here. And I'm doing a more intuitive reading today. I don't have a specific spread or amount of cards or anything that I'm trying to use. And I'm just gonna kind of let this reading speak for itself, so to say. And hopefully it is the message that you're looking for, that you need. So let me just pull a couple cards. We have the Six of Coins, and it is reversed. We have the Page of Coins, I believe. And then we have, the Devil. I knew you were going to get the Devil. I knew it when I was shuffling. I don't know why. You get the Devil and it is reversed. I already had a message in my head. I just already knew it. I was like, you guys are learning moderation. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm just so kind of surprised. I might pull an extra card. We will see. I just want to make sure that that is, in fact, the Page of Coins. Some of these cards are a little bit harder to read, but they are absolutely beautiful. So let's take a look at that. And while we're looking at that, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the, it is the Page of Coins. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the Bloodstone here. God, how did I know you were going to get the Devil card? I just knew it in my bones. So here is your Bloodstone card we have, and then on the back here it's Bloodstone, and it says, take this to parties or places when you feel uncomfortable. Any place where the vibe might make you jittery or out of sorts. Imagine peace and tranquility. And that speaks to the Devil card to me too. We'll talk a little bit more in a minute why. But this is your message and your stone. If you have Bloodstone available, you might want to keep it with you for the next month, and specifically for this environment, but just in general as a grounding stone, I think it's really good, just to kind of keep those jitters away, especially if you are an overly anxious person. Okay, so we have the Six of Coins. And just by looking at the imagery and what's going on, we have these coins. They're available. She's holding a scale. So there's a sensation of balance here, and we can look a little bit more at it if you want. Feeling like there's a juggling act going on here. Ugh. I need like 8 hands. It would be nice to have 8 hands. Okay, so again, we have the Six of Coins. She is in the water. It doesn't look like there's anything dangerous happening. She sort of has a relaxed look on her face, and she's holding a scale. She's holding balance here. And then coins are generally a symbol of wealth, tangible wealth, wealth in your home, that sort of thing. And so and we've got a lot of coins going on here. So it could be like a resource kind of based card. The Six of Coins is generally a card of generosity, charity, balance, and reciprocity. And it says, reversed, the scales are not very even. If you've been very generous, you won't benefit from it. On the other hand, you might have been taking advantage of someone or something, and such a deed will not reap rewards either, financial or otherwise. There is a pronounced power difference being represented, which is worth investigating. So you're giving and you don't get to take a lot, or you're taking and not giving a lot back, and it's that imbalance that is having an effect on you, and it could also be adding to that sort of jitter, that general anxiety that we may be feeling. And with the Page of Coins, it is spiritual contentment, intuition, reflection, and nature. It says the page is a symbol of spiritual bounty. The woman is content, and the foxes are benevolent spirits who guide her. Use your heart to make the decisions you are querying when you see the Page of Coins. This can mean taking time to reflect, preferably close to nature and away from the distraction of technology. Cultivate your intuition by keeping your body physically fit and your spaces uncluttered. Because again, coins has to deal with physical health, physical wealth. And so we have an imbalance, perhaps that might be happening internally as well as within a relationship or experiences outwardly. And we have the need to sort of become personally content. And I think it's that lack of contentedness that we're feeling, or that we're trying to attain now, that might have led to this imbalance. And so now we're aware of this imbalance and we're trying to find, our own version of fulfillment or contented, spiritual contentment. That's really just the best term for it. Now with the Devil card reversed, to me, before I even look at the book, to me the Devil card is sort of, it can be good and it can be bad. The Devil card generally is a big card of addiction. It's a big card of being bound. You can see in this particular representation, the Devil is trapping creatures in lamps. So he's actually, they're being imprisoned. They're being bound to him. And this sometimes can be a positive thing in the sense that there is almost a pleasure in debauchery, or sort of being hedonistic in a sense. And sometimes that's good and healthy. Sometimes people need that or deserve it, I would say. But it says here, so like lust, fixation, constraints, and bondage. And in a way, it could also be a representation of too much. And I immediately got the message or the word in my mind as I was shuffling: moderation. I think you guys are learning moderation. And that's benefiting this lack of balance. I think you guys are learning moderation, and it's enabling you to kind of find your own personal fulfillment and have this spiritual contentedness that you haven't had in the past. Maybe you were using your lack of content to take from others or give to others, thinking that that was going to bring it to you, and that wasn't the case. It says here, when the Devil is reversed, it can indicate that you're aware of your current state of bondage. Perhaps unhealthy relationships or overly taxing work situations are finally revealing themselves to be harmful. Alternatively, harmful temptations might be close at hand. Be cautious and reassess current commitments. This is a time of heightened awareness, utilizing this to your advantage in order to cut out the negative restraints in your life. So, as negative as it may seem, it looks like you guys are taking this time to be as responsible as possible to prevent any strife in your own relationships, any personal or internal strife. There is a lot of coins in this reading, and so I feel like there is a sense of stability, either financial stability or personal stability. Perhaps your physical health is dependent on someone else, or someone's physical health is dependent on you. And so I think you are taking this time to sort of break the bond that you've built in your head to justify these actions or activities. And it could be that you're being smarter about your choices, and you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to be making the right choices, or you're going to be actively thinking about what those choices should be to maintain your health and your comfort and your awareness. And it's going to improve your relationships with those people, and it's also going to bring to light the people who may be taking advantage of you, or maybe the people that you were taking advantage of unknowingly, and you're going to be able to stop doing that if it's not intentional. And I would hope that it isn't intentional. So this is a pretty cool reading. You guys are doing some big work. It's big work. It's positive work. Cut the ties that you have with the things that don't serve you, and find a way to kind of find that sensation of being content with yourself, being self-sufficient, being spiritually sufficient. I think it's a good message, just in case you guys need a little guidance for perhaps how this relationship can be changed or affected. I'm going to pull a card, and this card is the Four of, I think, Wands. It's a little hard to tell with this deck. I will double check, because we've got carrots here, and we've got some tree branches too. So this is the Four of Wands, and it is a family of sorts of rabbits here, and you got it, and it is reversed. So let's just take a little literal look at that and what guidance that might actually mean. Here's where we find out it is, in fact, the Four of Wands. Hooray, I'm getting used to this deck. This is one of my absolute favorite decks. I love it so much. It is beautiful. And this is a card of celebration, harmony, home, and community. And it says, reversed, the Four of Wands suggests a lack of harmony within the home and a breakdown of communication between family or friends. You may be feeling uncertain about your relationships and what you can and cannot depend on. And this implies this imbalance that we're going through. This may reflect a period of transition where you feel out of balance and uncertain of the nature of the future, Again, you may feel out of balance and uncertain of the future. And so I think it's sort of telling you that you're feeling this way for a reason, and it's because you have to find out what it is you're breaking out of your life and what routines and thought processes you have that you're breaking out of in order to get this self-sufficiency. And you should be able to find balance within yourself. And the more balanced you are as a person, the more you're going to have around you. The more balance, I mean. And so your relationships will start to become balanced. And it does mean having some hard conversations, and it does mean having, some anxious situations that you may be in. Again, this is places where when you feel uncomfortable. It says when you feel uncomfortable or jittery or out of sorts, imagine peace and tranquility. So Bloodstone is going to be something that aids you. And having those hard conversations with the people around you and yourself, your friends, your family, whoever it may pertain to, and getting yourself to a place to where you have and emulate this spiritual balance. And, taking care of yourself physically is going to help get you there mentally while you're doing all the other hard work. So it's not, I think still it's a very important reading. You're going through a very important change or transition, or you have become aware of some things that once you get through them, it's really going to make your life easier and better. And a lot of these struggles and these kind of weird, kind of jittery gut feelings that you're feeling now, they're not going to be around anymore. You're making sure of that, and that's awesome. Like, I'm incredibly proud of you for doing that, because it's a hard thing to do, is take an honest look at yourself and make those changes. But it's for the better, and you will definitely see the benefits of it. So, I mean, who doesn't want to be this? Who doesn't want this? This is a good way to be. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this was a good reading for you, or it had some messages, or resonated with you in some way that was helpful or useful to you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. It's awesome having you here, and we hope to see you again next month. So thank you again, and have a great one.